So, all right. Well, I want to introduce you guys to Ben Robbins, and Ben's going to introduce himself in a second. But he is somebody that I met years ago when he used to work at the language school that's part of group CCE called Langue Écossais, and he's familiar with the ESC, and I think may have gone to school here for a little while as well. And I'll let him introduce himself to you, and then if you guys can begin with your questions. And when you ask questions, you can ask more than, you ask your question, he answers. You can ask another question about your first question, called a follow-up question, if you want to do that. All right? So we have him for about 20 or 30 minutes, and let's keep him busy by asking him a lot of questions. All right? All right, so Ben, please.
Yes.
Thanks, Robert. Hi guys. Nice to, meet you all virtually. Robert's absolutely right. I used to work at the Langue Écossais in Pau. That was 6 or 7 years ago now. So since that time, I have been back to England for a couple of years, then back to France for a couple of years. I lived in the northwest in Saint-Malo, and then I moved to Paris. And for the last, about 1 year, I've been living in Sweden. And professionally, I am a recruiter. So at the moment, I am recruiting for AWS, which is a part of Amazon, the company. And I am recruiting for lots of people in the Nordic countries, so in Scandinavia, and also recruiting for people in France as well. So happy to meet you and happy to answer any questions that you might have for me.
So you can just speak when you want to. You don't listen to me. Whenever you want to speak, you ask your question.
Hello, I'm going to start. So nice to meet you. Thank you. So first one, how do you handle stress in the daily basis? On a daily basis, sorry.
Yeah. To handle stress on a daily basis, luckily I am naturally quite a relaxed person, which is always very useful. But if I do get stressed at any point during my day, I have colleagues that are very understanding and good to talk to. And if I come home and I'm still stressed, I have a very understanding girlfriend as well, who is also good to talk to.
Okay. I think that helps. Okay, thank you.
Next. Come on.
Okay, so hello, my name is Luigi.
Hi.
I have two questions to you. So, as you lived in France, do you speak French?
Yes, it's not perfect, but it's okay. I used to work in French every day for 2 or 3 years.
Okay. So now the interview. How would your manager describe your work?
I think my manager would describe my work as very fast and sometimes not the most detailed. So in my work as a recruiter, I am very good at going fast and dealing with a lot of work at the same time. But sometimes that means that I miss or I forget some of the more detailed aspects of the job. So there's one strength and one weakness, I think my manager would describe my general work as.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
Hello, I'm
Hi.
Armel. I have two questions also. How do you work in teams? And where do you see yourself in 5 year time?
Yeah, good questions. So the first question, how do I work in a team? it's quite interesting because most of my team are situated in different locations around Europe. So some of my team are based in Paris, some of my team are based in London. So it's very important to do exactly this, to communicate on a very regular basis, virtually.
Okay.
Because when you're not sat with your team every single day, you can miss updates, you can miss conversations. So yeah, constant communication is really, really important in my team, and I think every team. The second question was, where do I see myself in 5 years? I think, to be honest, I would like to be a manager of people. So right now I am leading projects, I'm leading initiatives, but I'm not leading people. So in the next 5 years, I would definitely like to start leading a small team of talent acquisition or recruiters across Europe.
Okay, thank you.
It's okay.
Hello, I'm Miguel, and I have one question for you. What do you consider to be the key skills necessary for this position?
Yeah, to be a good recruiter, I think it's really necessary to act fast. You have to be very reactive for many different reasons. So I think the most obvious reason is that a lot of the candidates that I speak to during a recruitment process, they're not just looking at my company, you know, especially like you guys who are coming out of university, you have many different options. So it's very important for me as a recruiter to act very fast and to make sure that we can have a very quick process so that, you know, the offer of a job is on the table as soon as possible. And the second thing that is important for a recruiter is just to be as honest as you can be, because there are many, many recruiters. You might have some experience of bad recruiters, many recruiters who are not so honest in their job. And finally, this will catch up with you. The candidate will not be so happy. And even if they start in your company, they will realize that what you were telling them in the first place is not the truth. So if there is a difference between what you're telling them and the truth of the company, this is not a good thing. So acting fast and honesty is very important.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Naomi.
Hi.
Can you tell us about a time when you had to make a really hard decision, or you were facing a problem and you had to resolve it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the biggest example I have is a couple of years ago when I was working in France. And I was working a lot with a senior director in my company. And there was a lot of disagreement around the way that we should recruit people and whether we should go for a quality versus quantity approach. The senior director, she wanted to go with a quantity approach and just interview as many people as fast as possible for the positions, but I preferred to do a quality approach and find the best people for the right position. So we had to meet somewhere in the middle. We had to compromise in this case. And in the end, it was a good conclusion. It was a positive conclusion. We found all of the right people in a good time. And we didn't waste too much time interviewing the wrong people. So that it took a little bit of discussion from my side and from her side, but in the end, we reached a compromise.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Julie. Please, can you describe a typical day of your work, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So usually in the morning, I have 50 plus emails in my inbox that I have to deal with, maybe for the first 1 hour or 1.5 hours of my day. And then throughout the morning, I will have a number of calls, usually calls, video calls or phone calls with different candidates for different positions. I will also be involved in some meetings with managers or directors who I'm working with to find the right candidates for their position. And on a good day, I will be, calling people to offer them a job and to talk to them about joining the company and giving them an offer of employment. On a bad day, I will be calling many people and telling them that unfortunately they weren't successful in the interview process and that they didn't get the job at Amazon. So it's a mix depending on the day, but I have more good days than bad days, luckily.
Okay, and what's the condition to live in Amazon?
To work in Amazon?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. For me, very good. Obviously, I work for the company now, so maybe I'm not very objective. This is just my opinion, but very good. It's a big company. It's a big American company, but it is also a very flexible company. So they are able to change the way of working depending on the region. For example, France or the United Kingdom or the Nordics. So it's a very flexible company, and there are very good opportunities for the future. So if you work hard and if you are performing, it is quite easy to move and get promoted up the ladder of success, let's say.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I have one question. What motivates you in your work?
Yeah, lots of things motivate me. Honestly, I like many different elements of my job, but the first thing that motivates me in my job is talking to people. So, as a recruiter, I am almost all of my day, 90%, 95% of my day, I am talking to different people from different countries, different backgrounds, different experiences. And for me, that is the best part of my job, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
How many languages do you speak?
To a good degree, just English and French. So on a professional level, just English and French. And I would say I am basic level at Swedish now and Italian as well.
How about a few more questions for Ben?
Yeah, I got one. So, how many people do you recruit on a week?
Yeah, so the positions that I am normally looking for are quite senior positions. So unfortunately, it's not 5 or 6 people per week, maybe one per week, something like that, because I'm usually looking for, senior managers or directors. So these people are usually difficult to find.
Okay.
a good week is 2 or 3 people. A bad week can be 0 people, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have
Somebody
a
else?
question too.
Hi.
Today, would you prefer to still work in a big company like Amazon, or work in a smaller structure?
Yeah, good question. And I've had experience of both, you know, very small companies, medium-sized companies, and now big companies like Amazon. Honestly, there is value in every type of company. I think the thing that you get with a big company is lots of processes. So you learn how things work on a business level, and it's a really good foundation to start in a big company, because then you can apply those skills to a smaller company or a medium-sized company. I think when you start in a very small company, it's more difficult to learn systems and processes, because your role will be very varied. You know, it's difficult to have a specific role in a very small company, because everybody is doing a little bit of everything. I would say the stability is very, very good, and the opportunities are very, very good in a bigger company. But if you like variety, and if you like doing many different jobs at the same time, then a smaller company is better for that.
Okay, so in the future, would you like to start your own business? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. In recruitment, especially in the UK, in the United Kingdom, and in France, it's very, very competitive. So there are thousands and thousands of recruitment companies. Some of my friends have started their own companies, and it depends what kind of time of your life you're in. If you have the time to 100% dedicate yourself to that company and put all of your time and effort into that company, then I would absolutely do it. I think if I had children or something, other commitments in the future, it would be more difficult for me to start my own company.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody else?
Yeah, still me.
Yeah,
So it's Benoit. What studies did you do before working where you are working right now?
Actually, nothing connected. So in university, I studied quite a specific course, which was all about French culture. So it was French history, French cinema, French politics, everything like this. But it was nothing to do with recruitment, nothing to do with business. I think, fortunately, in the United Kingdom especially, companies are very open to your background, your academic background. So I found a job while I was at university. I started in a recruitment company, and I really enjoyed it. But the French was still very useful, because I was able to move abroad and spend nearly 3 years in France while I was doing the recruitment. So it wasn't directly connected, but it still opened possibilities for me.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
How did you get a job with Amazon?
More luck than anything else. I received a message on LinkedIn to say that Amazon were looking for recruiters who spoke English and French. And actually, they wanted me to work in Paris. But my girlfriend got a job with H&M, the fashion company. She's a fashion designer, and their headquarters are based in Stockholm. So I said to Amazon that I was moving to Stockholm, and they said that was no problem. I could work in Stockholm and work 50% in the Nordics and 50% in France.
Right. That's great. All right. Anybody else?
Yep, I have one. Is it easy to telecommute in a period of confinement like this? One in your sector?
Is it easy to work from home or to travel to the office, you mean?
To work.
Yeah. So from me, I usually work, in normal circumstances. I usually work 2 days from home and then 2 or 3 days in the office. So they're very flexible. And personally, even though I live in Stockholm, which is the capital city of Sweden, it only takes me 15 minutes to get into the center of the city. So it's very flexible.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
One, I want to know how do you handle the stress?
So as I said before, I'm quite a calm person, but I think I am more of the receiver of stress sometimes. So I think because I am a calm person, my colleagues and people around me can sometimes use me as somebody to talk to if they are stressed, because I don't elevate their levels of stress. I feel like maybe one of my skills is to help calm people down and help relax people if they are stressed. So I don't usually have to handle stress of my own, luckily. I just have to handle other people's stress.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? All right. Well, Ben, thanks a lot. That was very, very kind of you to share some of your time with us and tell us a little bit about your story and about your experiences. And hopefully it was interesting for the students as well, and hopefully interesting for you to have to,
definitely.
to think a little bit. So thank you so much, and congratulations on your life in Stockholm. One of my favorite cities, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's certainly beautiful. Certainly beautiful.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. Yeah. So, all right.
Thanks for the opportunity, and good luck for the rest of the time in your courses, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 And for those of you who are here, the rest of you that are here, thank you so much. And gee, I wish you well. And thank you for your presentations today. I enjoyed them, and hope the classes, your rest of your classes. Well, I hope someday soon we get to do this face to face rather than looking at our computer screens. I hope that happens before too long. So good luck, and keep working on your eFlex. Get your hours in. And I'll hope to see you guys soon. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.